William Hughes Craven served as a great leader in our community, both professionally and religiously. He left behind a legacy of hope, faith, and the importance of cultural preservation here in Laie, Hawaii. His leadership extended into the community as he also served as stake president of the LDS Church over an area spanning from Waimea to Koaloa.
Especially when he became stake president, there was a very good relationship with the local people.
We had a close relationship with the community. I think that part of that had to do too was my Polynesian ancestry.
Cravens was a great example of a young, successful businessman who happened to be Samoan. He really inspired young Polynesians to aspire to be what they wanted to be and go after their dreams.
The leaders at BYU Hawaii, Polynesian Cultural Center, the what's this HRI now, you know, it was all young people, young men, young women. We had small children, and so we were very much into the community. We came from Samoa. I was hired by the Polynesian Cultural Center to come and live here in Hawaii and work here with the Polynesian Cultural Center.
When he came aboard, there was a very serious challenge. The Fijians were on strike. President Cravens settled that, and they were pleased and continued working with PCC.
They had some very serious labor problems. There had been a strike. People had picket lines, and we're trying to stop people from coming into the Polynesian Cultural Center. And so they thought it would be a good idea to hire a Polynesian that had a business background, and that's where I came.
When Hardesty resigned in March 1975, William H. Cravens then was hired as a general manager. There was a big layoff with several administrators being released. All that was in place before President Cravens came aboard. 6 months or so later, both Steve Bennett and Norm Lizzie resigned, and the center again was operating through a general manager. He was a nice general manager. So during his tenure as president of the PCC, Ella Ashton relinquished that title and promoted Brother Cravens to be the first general manager to be promoted president. Since then, we've had about 6 presidents. Local general managers were no longer addressed as general managers, but as presidents.
Cravens was the first Polynesian president of the Polynesian Culture Center, making him a great role model for young Polynesians. His dedication, love, and service for those around him helped leave a legacy here in Laie more than 30 years later. While his position at the Polynesian Culture Center put him in contact with many of the people in this community, it was the combination of his professional career and religious service that increased the positive effect that his leadership had in Laie. He was called as stake president of the LDS Church for Laie, Hawaii stake, which covered the area from Waimea to Koaloa, just 2 years after he came to Laie. Cravens utilized his positions to greatly benefit the community, especially when it involved the youth.
We did things with the youth. We would have youth conferences that lasted a week, and we're right in it with them.
I don't know if it was him or PCC, but somebody bought all these roller skates, I remember. And the youth would meet around the small circle at BYU, and we would be able to roller skate, and I think it was free. And that was really cool because being a PCC president, they've always been kind of a little not part of the community. He really brought that back to community, and he was really part of the community with his family. He was a leader who gave direction and then be a part of it, like not just to tell people what to do, but he would say this needs to be done. And then I remember him being a part of what was going on.
He encouraged them to do better in order to positively influence their future. He was very involved with the youth and impacted many of them for good.
He was instrumental in helping me get on a mission, and I think the most memorable thing is those one-on-one sessions where I felt his love and his positive influence, and he's made me feel like I was worth something. I had value, and that I could do better.
With the help of a management team that was pretty much all local and Polynesian, Cravens helped PCC to become integrated with the community. The Polynesian Culture Center sponsored many events at Kahuku High School, including wrestling tournaments, buying athletic shoes for teams, building band necessities, and so on. The center was used for events and functions that had to do with the LDS Church as well as varying community needs.
We were very involved with Kahuku High School in sponsoring programs such as sporting events, buying athletic shoes for kids that couldn't afford to buy basketball shoes.
The Polynesian Culture Center had never seen such success, nor has it ever since. According to PCCU historian David Hanneman, the greatest growth of the Polynesian Culture Center was under his tenure.
When President Cravens welcomed the 1 millionth visitor.
Cravens played a crucial role in the development, progression, and success of the Polynesian Culture Center while he was there, not only financially. PCC reached their 1 millionth visitor multiple years under Cravens. The center experienced many other successes both financially and as a gathering place for the community members and tourists alike. Cravens was instrumental in the building of both the Canyon Activity Center at BYU Hawaii and the PCC BYU Hawaii Administration Building. In talks with administrators of BYU Hawaii, they expressed to Cravens their need for a new administration building, but the problem was that the university had no money to build one. Cravens came up with the idea to have the Polynesian Culture Center pay for their new administration building by leasing half of it from BYU Hawaii, a transaction that paid for itself many times over. Cravens also played an important role in establishing the Chinese connection. When the vice chairman of China, Yang Miao, came to Hawaii for a meeting with the Pacific Command, he asked to go to the Polynesian Culture Center during his free time. A special luncheon was held in his honor, where he sat and talked with Cravens. They hit it off, and Yang Miao personally asked Cravens to come to China to help them create a cultural center there.
He was maybe the only one who led the center, who knew how important it was for the center to have good relations with not just this immediate community, but the broader community of Hawaii. So his contacts with the governor himself, and various government agencies and government officials, elected officials, I think is one of his hallmarks. He would invite government leaders and dignitaries to come out and experience the center and know what the center had to offer, and kind of kept Laie on the government radar screen, so to speak.
Cravens had great faith, and as a result, people heeded his counsel, and the community was blessed. The Laie Hawaii stake needed to raise money for the back chapel. They had a 5-week time frame in order to finish it, and have it dedicated by President Kimball, who would be coming to Hawaii. In addition to the chapel, the stake had debts, so they needed to raise $40,000 to $50,000. There were around 150 men in the stake from the community of Laie, Ho'ula, and Kahuku. Cravens figured if each gave $700 apiece, they could meet their goal. He asked that those who could give more, and those who couldn't, do what they could. He asked these men on a Saturday, and by the following Thursday, they had raised $100,000. The community itself was very blessed for this kind of response, their willingness to give and serve.